Hey, what's going on? My name is Rex. This is the Be Forever Cool podcast. Tonight, we're going to have some fun. We got Motor America that just finished this past weekend at Mid Ohio. So, we're going to chop it up with the guys about that. We got MotoGP coming up this weekend and in Silverstone, iconic track in the UK. Looking forward to that. It's been a few weeks off. And also, we have, 5 things that are a must have at the track. So definitely stick around and, find out what they are. If you're a track goer, you might already have it. If you're someone that's thinking about going to the track, you might have 15 new things. You might have 15 things you can add to the list so you're well prepared. So either way, it's going to be a good time. I want to thank all the followers, you know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate y'all, the subscribers, definitely appreciate y'all. The folks that are members on the Patreon account, definitely appreciate y'all as well. We couldn't do it without you guys. We want to thank, we want to tell all you guys about Woodcraft. And use our affiliate code Rexy. You spend over $100, you get a free T-shirt. Woodcraft, if you are a motorcyclist, you have Woodcraft gear, whether clip-ons, whether rear sets. If you're at the track, you got the stands, you got the tire warmers. You know what I'm saying? You got the armor body, you got the Hindle exhaust. I mean, you almost have everything but the bike. You know what I'm saying? So definitely use the Rexy code when you shop and buy your gear at Woodcraft. Also, if you are a fan of Pirelli tires, or if you're not a fan of Pirelli tires, you might as well become a fan. Use Be Forever Cool code. Reach out to Mark 10 Motorsport. The code is coming up. Mention the Be Forever Cool podcast. Get 10% off some race tires only, no street tires. And he ships across the country. So save 10%, especially if you got one of them super bikes and big bikes that go through a lot of tires. You want that discount. You know what I'm saying? After a certain amount of tires, it's like a free tire. So you can't miss out on that opportunity, or shouldn't miss out on that opportunity. Last but not least, visit the Be Forever Cool website. We got cool merch. We got all episodes on there. We got photos from Motor America on there. We got ways for you to become a member and get some more discount codes, because the members, they get all the discount codes. 15% if you are a top tier member, 10% if you are one of us like me, entry level, as I like to say. So there's good things happening coming. So with that said, let's find out what's going on with the guys. TJ, man, welcome to the show. What's good, man? How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm loving this summer weather. It's nice and warm up here in New England, so enjoying that while it lasts. But definitely can't wait to talk about the 5 best things to bring to the track. That's going to be interesting to hear about. But other than that, just ready for race weekend. We're at Silverstone. It's actually a pretty nice track. Glad that MotoGP's off of their summer break.
Hmm.
America had a nice weekend in Mid Ohio. And one thing I do hate is the World Superbike schedule.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. So yeah, so we'll see them again in September, I guess. But you know, can't wait for this weekend to watch MotoGP.
Yeah, nah, I feel you there. I mean, a heat wave is a stretch, but I'll let you have it. I know up that way now. All of a sudden, 95, 90 is a heat wave. That's just Florida.
I'll take it. I'll take it. We don't usually get over 100, but once we get our heat wave, it disappears, and then we might as well start seeing the leaves change. So.
Right, right. No doubt, no doubt. If I can click on these buttons and make them work, I don't know what's happening here. There we go. Tyson, welcome to the show, man. What's going on? Well, there's
What's
a
up,
glitch in the
Rexy?
matrix.
I don't dog our heat waves here too much, all right? It's been pretty cold the last month, at least up here. Like, I'm sure it's a little bit warmer down near Boston where TJ is, but up here it's been pretty chilly. It's been feeling like fall for the last months.
Yeah, nah, I feel you. I was up there like 3 weeks ago, I think, or maybe a couple of weeks now. So it's New England. It's nice
It's just
when
unpredictable.
to come down here when the heat's just heat. You just know what to get. But it's living there. When I was living in Boston, you just kind of, it is what it is. But yeah, when you can have stretches of good summer weather, and you can ride, it would just be outside. It is nice. Like New England, it makes you appreciate life because you don't get sunny days all the time. So when you get them, you just gotta act a fool.
You got to enjoy the few ones that we do get. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, for real. Because we know it's coming in September, so it is what it is. Guys, man, welcome to the show. Mid Ohio happened, this past weekend. It was a very exciting racing. I know TJ was up. He was on the live. When we were talking about it, you know, Breeze they must have kind of knew what was going to happen, had, figured some things out there, but it was kind of wild to see in real time. It was exciting to watch some racing. Sunday race got cut by the multiple red flags. I can understand why. We kind of go around the horn a little bit and have you guys talk about, your thoughts of the weekend, and then we'll jump into Superbike, Super Sport, and then we'll talk about some motor GP and what to expect at Silverstone. So, what are your thoughts, TJ, man, on the weekend?
Yeah, Mid Ohio is a track that, watching it, I only see it for Moto America, so I don't really know it too well, but I mean, it seems like a beautiful track. I mean, the weekend was good overall for, weather-wise. Everyone had a battle in all the classes. It was kind of crazy in Super Sport and Super Bike and even in the Twins Cup. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was exciting all around. And, being on the live talking with Eli, just trying to see like how he can, you know, step foot in there and see what he can do. And it was just good overall to keep my attention. So I thought it was a good race weekend. And, I know we're going to talk about it, but SDK is just trying to hold down that chip, and he's looking good right now in the BMW. So now
Right.
he's the one to chase. I know in the beginning of the season, we was talking about Schultz and who's going to slow him down, and now the tables turned. So, it's good to see how the season is flip-flopping a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like SDK is holding his cards close to the vest. So we'll see, but he looks like he's right there fighting. And he's he's leading the championship. So there you have it. Tyson, what are your thoughts on the weekend, man? I know you weren't able to make the live, but it's still exciting racing. I'm sure you checked it out.
Yeah, I managed to catch both the races for Super Sport and Super Bike, and they were really quite thrilling races. I mean, some big moments, lots of passes for key positions, especially into the going into the championship for a lot of these guys, and some of these potential championship hunters are making mistakes, and it was fun to watch all around for both of those classes. And man, that those super sport classes too, like those two guys at the top just duking it out, just lap after lap, corner after corner. That was a blast to watch. At that point, I didn't care who won. Like
Yeah, I,
they
I
both did
agree.
a great job.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to sit here and say every rider should race like how Bender and Heron race. But really, they should, because I mean, they were pretty fair. I mean, it's not BSB or anything like that. I mean, they were very. They could have. I mean, they could ride a little bit. They could rub a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if they rubbed a little bit more. But the way they are riding, it is beautiful to see, and it's something for me. As an aspiring writer to aspire to, because it was nice to see, man.
It certainly was. Like they seemed to like, to your point, that no one crossed the line, but they were certainly taking jabs at each other left and right, and just I want to be the best. And but it was cool to see. It was cool to see them keep their heads together though too, like you said, and just makes this an honest fight, and we all get to enjoy it till the end of the race instead of someone taking it a little bit too far and either taking both of them out or going out on their own and then just watching someone do parade laps for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and that kind of happened on Sunday. There's a lot of crashes on Sunday. Yeah, and let's talk about that. I mean, we'll talk about not necessarily order of importance, but like the red flags in the second race in the Superbike. We had 2 red flags. Benjamin Smith chucked it down the road on the start of the race, hit some grass, the bike spit him off. Kept going down the road, red flag, and then I believe the second crash that was red flag was PJ's crash, I believe, and then there was a third red flag, and then they called the race on the third red flag. It was the race itself was exciting to watch. A lot of folks, Lewis, he's adamant about they should have just had a third restart. What are your thoughts, TJ, on that? And I assume you caught that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised that they called a race. I mean, I know we saw what happened in MotoGP. That was like carnage. That there was more riders injured than we expected. This ain't MotoGP. Obviously, they're riding super hard, but there was like solo crashes. The first one was legit, not even lap one. It was like corner two, and obviously it wasn't a big cleanup, but it's a red flag, so you gotta go around and pit, do your thing, and you lose time. Uh, the second one was kind of like halfway point with PJ. He did go onto the racetrack a little bit. I mean, I'm sure there was things to clean up, but after that, I don't think they should have called it. I think should have duked it out. I mean, probably would have been like a 6, 7 lap shootout, I guess. I forget how many laps were left, but to be honest, I think they should have continued it. I mean, I know the rules are rules, but when we saw what happened in MotoGP, and they still continued, like for this to not, it was just like, come on, we've seen much worse. But obviously, we want all the riders to be safe.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think I probably misspoke. It was 2 red flags, not 3. What are your thoughts, Tyson?
I definitely think that first red flag was certainly deserved because that bike came right back onto the track and like the whole pack had to like slow down and like you saw it like Sean Dillon Kelly, I think was it Schultz behind him, but they immediately throw their arms up, back everybody up, and they safely navigated that through. But I feel like at that point, like I don't know, just throw the red flag out and restart it, I guess. But I don't quite remember how did I know PJ went down, but it didn't seem like he was in the way. It just seemed like a normal yellow flag in this sector, and guys just don't do anything stupid through here while we're cleaning this up and just keep going.
Right.
So these guys are professionals. You know what I mean? Like they should be able to conduct themselves professionally while one of their compatriots are on the ground and potentially a vulnerable position. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I just thought because PJ's bike almost came back onto the track, and Smith's bike was on the track for a bit. I think the optics of it, they took a they and sometimes it's nice to walk away with the wind and to what possibly could have happened, but I think that's the reason why they called it because of the optics of just the crashes that I
that's the
think
worst reason to call it.
I think Fong had to check up when PJ went down. So but to your point, but continue. Sorry.
Well, I mean that's just racing though. Like
Yeah.
people crash. Like what are the optics? Like they're professionals. You know what I mean? Like we go club racing and stuff like that happens. Like it annoys me, but like I'm like we are not professional. A lot of these people are very inexperienced. Like okay, be a little bit more happy throwing out that red flag and get people to stop and that sort of deal. But like these guys they've been racing since they were 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. Like they know how to conduct themselves. So like why are we treating them like children to a degree? And like if I was in first, like I personally would be pissed if it was red flagged. And I like sure, do I like the win? I'll take the win. But like to me, I wouldn't feel like that was an honest win. Like I don't feel like I would have deserved it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
No,
I agree with that too.
I feel you there, and I think that's what Sean Dillon Kelly will would agree with that because I think he felt like he could have won. But let's talk about race one, which he did win. Fong came in second, JD third place. JD came up all the way, I think, from 10th to third. Pretty impressive riding overall. I mean, Benjamin Smith did get pole position. It was nice to see Ducati on pole because they've been struggling this year a bit, especially struggling in the V4 in the superbike class. What you thought about race one, TJ?
Yeah, man. After being on the live and seeing the Yamahas where they were at, I was talking about I just hopefully they can pull something out, and they actually did. They got themselves on the podium, so that's exciting to see that. The teammates Bobby Fong, JD Beach, and JD Beach has been kind of the top guy this year, kind of a little bit so far. And to have Bobby Fong finish ahead of him, that's a good feeling for Bobby and for the team itself. So to get past the Ducatis that were Benjamin was on pole position, get past those guys and finish on top. That was good. And like I said, Sean Dale and Kelly is riding really well. I mean, they were all doing 24s, so
Yeah.
that pace was very close. But I was most impressed by Yamaha because in the practicing and qualifying they weren't that strong, so they definitely figured out a setup and improved.
Yeah, it's how can I put it? Tires. What are your thoughts, Tyson?
I mean, it was a fun race to watch for sure. Watching JD Beach he started from 10th, didn't he?
Yeah.
He made his way up to third. Like, that is impressive. And I know his second race didn't turn out as well, but I was like, he is one hell of a rider, especially with his performance at Laguna. I mean, he brought himself up into second in the championship. And I think he was just furthering that along with this race. But yeah, those attack performance Yamahas did great in that race one. I think Bobby started in like second or third, didn't he? On the
I think third. I gotta double check. I guess let me. I can look right now. Continue while I look.
But yeah, and Bobby Fong did a great job. I don't think his season's quite turned out how he had hoped for, but this should be a good confidence boost for him to keep pushing through and keep trying to whittle back those wins. And sometimes you just gotta do it for yourself, if not for the championship. Give yourself that confidence to keep going out there and performing. But Sean Dellen Kelly is looking quite impressive. He looks composed. Probably the best way I can think of it. Like, he's not pushing himself to make mistakes. He's doing what he has to do to put points on the board and keep his championship alive. Like,
Right.
I mean, a quick crash and Schultz or JD Beach wins the race, and they're now in first. So that's his biggest risk, and he looks like he's managing that risk quite well. And just like I said, he's driving lights out right now to keep this championship.
Yeah, I agree. And Schultz is in second place right now in the championship. JD's third place, but he's close. The top four guys are pretty, and Fong did qualify third, so you know what I mean, which is impressive. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Bobby has been having, for a second year on the factory team, he hasn't had the start many would have hoped. I think more him than any of us, because obviously as the rider, they all want to be successful, and hopefully, it's enough. I think I hope he finishes on the podium for the rest of the season. He's been riding really well lately. I know he was injured early on and stuff like that, and still was able to get on the podium. But it'll be nice to see him in Yamaha factory another year. Rather than anything else. So hopefully and it's a cutthroat sport. And as he said in the press conference, he was up at 2 a.m, looking for jobs. Kind of kiddingly, but just pointing out that it's very cutthroat in motorsport, which we know. So yeah. TJ, you heard Tyson talk about Sean Dillon Kelly on that BMW. I agree with him in that he he seems like he's riding well in control. I think he's similar to how Bender is riding, where he's kind of like, all right, I don't need to ride my limits. Where last year Bobier was riding his limits on that BMW. Sean
Yeah.
seems to be like, I'm not at my limits yet, and I can still beat these people. So what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna kind of bring up is kind of what Tyson was saying, like how Sean is just relaxed out there. It seems like he's just very composed and just getting his job done. We haven't really heard any complaints like how Bobby was saying, like this bike's trying to throw me off or kill me or and stuff like that. He's just been handling. I don't know if the height of the rider matters,
Mm-hmm.
but just looking at like what Top Rock did on the BMW, looking at how Sean Dillon Kelly is doing, and I don't know. He's riding really smooth. He's understanding the bike, and it's not like he hasn't. Like he's done some aggressive passes, and he's not no slouch on that bike. So it's not like he's just riding it to stay up front. He's had to work his way from the back to the front, rub shoulders. But the way he's handling it, he's like it doesn't seem like it's trying to throw him off or kill him. So I don't know. He's doing a hell of a job, and but the way he's showing it is just seems like there's no issues, no effort.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, listen. I think his mood on Saturday after the win versus his mood on Sunday after second place. It's like drastically different. It's not a little different. Second place is like so far into these riders that it's just like some guys are just wishing they could get second place, and he's just kind of like I think, and I asked this to Schultz, because Schultz said, he saw that, SDK wasn't pushing, so he jumped out front and was like, screw it, I'll figure out the end, I'll burn my tires. And that decision, obviously he didn't know a red flag was coming, is a thing that made him, win the race. If SDK was pushing, and the red flag came out, you know what I'm saying? SDK would have won the race. So, three out of Fong, JD, not JD. I mean, I forget who. I forget who. I don't know if it was Bass or Lawrence Bass or whoever, but those riders were taking their time, so to speak. And if they didn't, the outcome would have been different. So, and he was just like, I was just put my trust in the brakes, and he was just going to fight it out with Sean Dillon Kelly in the brakes, but he got the red flag. So it's just some of that just comes down to riders' decisions in laps, right? Because that if he did the same thing, story would be different, and SDK would have been in first place in both races. So great to see. Let's talk about the we're going to talk about the 5 things that is a must-have at the track, but let's talk about the super sport class, and what Darren Bender and Heron, also Hayes, and Kayla as well. Blake is up there. I think there's some riders now that are running really well. I like the Superbike race. I thought it was pretty crazy to see. What are your thoughts, TJ, on the Super Sport?
Man, seeing Josh Hayes up there at 51, that's pretty impressive. I look at that as just like, me still riding, like, yeah, if he can do it, I can do it. I mean, obviously, I'm not professionally riding, but just being on a bike in general. But those two guys up the front, Darren Bender and Josh, they're duking it out. And I know we're saying Darren Bender, he's amazing, but gotta tip my hat to him, man. He's figuring out these tracks, and he doesn't care. If you're in his way, he's gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Herron has his hands full right now. I mean, like we said it before, that him going from Superbike to Super Sport, it's like, oh man, you have to win this championship. This is yours. And now Darren Bender's kind of in his way, and Josh is kind of asking for help for people. This was his weekend to go in there and get these wins, and
Right.
you know, Bender still interfered. So he's in trouble. Um, it is good to see his pace. Like I agree with you said that these other riders need to kind of keep pace a little bit. We've seen that a little bit from Kayla, Josh Hayes and a little bit of Tyler Scott.
Yeah.
But you know, those guys after like 10, 15 laps, their pace is not compared to the other guys. So and Josh is just had to fight, and it was kind of amazing seeing them going back and forth like they were, and Darren Bender obviously got the upper hand, but yeah, it was a good race. It was a good race, both of them.
Yeah. No, pretty good race for sure. Tyson, what are your thoughts, man? And I guess I'll ask you both you guys, and you can chime in after DJ about the wheelie at the finish with that Josh
I
pulled.
was gonna bring it up.
He said that it was no space, but I don't know. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, how are they not coming back to showing this? Like, I was like, why are you ripping like a 9 o'clock wheelie as you're going to the like? That's just not how they work. You'd go faster if your tire was lower. You could have maybe won that race, bro.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, dude.
Might have been frustration. He just kind of said, ah!
Yeah. I think he was frustrated. After that, I was thinking, I was like, does he have beef with Binder or something like that? Or he maybe just be frustrated with not being able to pull it off? But yeah, I thought that was interesting for sure. Was that race 1? Or was it race 2?
2.
I think it was race 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were good races. I mean, we talked a little bit about before, like just duking it back and forth between those top 2 guys. Like that was fun to watch. But the super sport class definitely feels like there's 3 tiers of riders. There's Binder and Heron, then there's Josh Hayes and Kayla Yakov, and then Tyler Scott in there to a degree. Blake Davis is getting in there, and then everybody else. And like that's just what the last couple of weekends I've noticed. It's like those 2 guys at the front just duking it back and forth till someone makes a mistake or they finish, and then there's 5 seconds back. There's Kayla and maybe Josh Hayes, sometimes Josh Hayes or whatever, and then everybody else. But they're good to. It was good to see those guys fighting, but I would definitely like to see Kayla take it to them a little bit more. Like she's doing a great job. She's a young rider. I mean, she's in 3rd in this championship right now, and she's deserved every bit of that. But it would be good to see her try to like get in between those 2 guys, like show them a wheel from time to time, like slow them down, or they're fighting so much you may be able to pick off one of them by the end of the race if you just hang on to that train.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, I know she's injured and coming off of an injury. She did get on the podium. She did get on the podium on Sunday. So it is. I think that is. As she says, she didn't say she. Well, she pointed out how the type of rider Heron is, the experience he has, world, Moto America titles, AMA titles, Darren Bender MotoGP. And so on one hand, she is like, it's pretty dope to be riding close to these guys. But on the other hand, from a competitive perspective, she still wants to be in front of them and find a way to be in front of them. So, I mean, as human beings, I don't think we got to take time and kind of look and take like, what, I'm really that close behind these people. So let me take solace in that and not necessarily saying like you're taking your foot off the gas. It's just giving yourself an appreciation to say, yo, I'm really close to these guys, and this is where and that's their resume. So I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? And she's gonna get there because she's 19. You know what I'm saying? And they have a lot more experience than she does. Go ahead.
I mean,
Did you see the race too? Did you see a race 2 though? So race 2, she took off. She was leading that package. She was trying. She was trying.
I got some
Darren Bender got past Josh Heron to take 2nd, and then he dive bombed her in a corner and took that spot away from her after she was trying so hard. Yeah. When that happened, Josh Heron went by, Josh Hayes went by, like that one incident,
tough spot.
just bullied her. So to your case, Tyson, she is trying to give it to them. It's just she's just got to give a little more. Like you just see that she has to give exactly what Bender did.
Yeah.
To her, she's gonna have to ride the same way.
Definitely got bullied there.
Yeah. So I felt bad, but it's racing. It was clean. But yeah, I'm trying to see when she can get her first win. She's trying. So
Yeah,
That's part of the learning though too. Someone dive
yeah,
bombs you like that, you're like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to hug that corner a little bit closer so they have no room to dive bomb me, and good luck going around the outside, kind
right.
of deal.
And
So,
and it,
and
and it, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's all a learning experience. That's all.
it
Yeah.
is.
And it's tough when they're all on the same machine. So
Yeah.
they all ride the bikes are pretty much the same bikes, and so you have to do things like that to get the upper hand. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have one of the ducks just pull away from the other. So that's not gonna happen. So somebody got to make a mistake as well. And the Twins Cup, the Talent Cup. I mean, the overall weekend, the hooligans class and the bagger class. I mean, it was some really good racing this weekend as a fan to watch and take in and see as well. But let's move over to MotoGP, guys. We got MotoGP in Silverstone. It's nice to have it. I didn't realize how much I missed MotoGP until it's like, oh, it's on this week, and I'm excited to watch it this weekend. It's on a time zone that I can rock with and stuff like that. So we'll go around and hear what your thoughts, what you're hoping to see, who's your rider going to be coming out of the gate swinging. What are you hoping to see, TJ? And are you as excited as I am to have MotoGP back?
Oh man, I'm definitely excited to have MotoGP back and seeing all the classes and all the practices. Just the camaraderie and the conversations. Just Silverstone was a nice track, and for MotoGP's sake, just seeing how Mark Marquez comes out of this. We know that he was 100 plus points down a couple rounds ago, and now he is very close to, being on top. So there's a lot of riders trying to hold their spot in the championship, trying to see what Bezecchi's going to do after being injured and basically kind of throwing his season away. So this is a good break for a lot of these guys just to see what they're going to do. And also a lot of shakeup. A lot of these riders are going to be on different teams. So don't know how much effort, obviously, they got to get paid for it, but, it's just where they really stand at the end of the day. So we'll see who really wants to fight for, like, podium spots.
Right.
So
I
can't wait to watch.
can't wait to watch indeed. How about yourself, Tyson? Man, you excited? You're calling in sick.
Maybe not calling in sick, but I'm stoked. I have precious vacation time and it is already allocated. But I am stoked to watch the race this weekend. I think I saw or read somewhere that there's been 11 different 11 different race winners for the last 11 years.
Oh, wow.
So that would be crazy to see, like, someone brand new, someone else to win it again, someone out of nowhere. But I'm excited to have racing back again. I'm excited to see how this championship shakes out. I'm excited to see if anyone sort of worked on anything or figure some stuff out over the summer break, and they can put it all together for fresh start to the season and just hit the ground running. As TJ said, like, I'd love to see what Mark Marquez can do, and if he can pull this championship off, which I hope he does. Love to
Okay.
see ninth championship out of him if he does it this year.
I don't know. I lost
Um,
counting.
yeah, lost count at this point, but yeah, and there's so many people in this championship right now. It was a year I wasn't expecting to be this competitive, but
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Like, just because I wasn't expecting it doesn't mean I'm not enjoying the shit out of it.
All right. Well, listen, man. We didn't plan it, but it's a perfect segue because the next question is, between 1 through 8, there's 65 points from number 8 to 1. Bagnaia was down 93 and came back. Mark was down a bunch of points before the summer break, and now is in third place. I mean, this season, from Bagnaia to Martin in the championship, I guess I should list all of them: Bagnaia, Costa, Fernandez, De Antonio, Bezecchi, Marquez, Lagura, and Martin. All these 8 guys starting Friday could win the championship if the stars aligned. Am I crazy in this in seeing what I'm seeing? Is this too ridiculous? Is it really just should be Marquez and one other rider? What are your thoughts, TJ?
I mean, this is what fans want to see, especially if you're fans of a lot of these riders. So, in the past, it never came down to the last race, except for like when it was Pecco and Martin a few years ago. So it's usually like, two races before we already know the champion. And even with that being said, it's only usually two people fighting for the championship.
Right.
So knowing that you have a caliber of riders that are all great riders, all have a chance. And after the summer break, like, how we always say the season's early. Like, I don't know what you say when you come back now. Like, the season's
Yeah.
on fire as soon as you come back in. Like, it's like you have to do everything you can. You have to go as hard as you can. There's no excuses at all from here until the end of the season because it's so tight. And I was just excited, yeah, that it's back and what they can do. And yeah, anyone can win this. If someone makes a mistake or someone has a DNF, like it's gonna keep going up and down. And when that happens and you're behind, try harder and more mistakes can happen. So your focus level has to be higher. So their attention span's got to be 110 plus percent
Right.
for the rest of the season because it's tight.
Yeah, I agree that it is. Tyson, man, I mean, 8 riders. Who are the who are the top four likely out of the top 8 to pull this off, and why?
I mean, number one, obviously, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Marquez.
Right.
Like,
All right.
if we all had to put some actual cash down, I said both of you, TJ, Rexy, all you got to put $1,000 down on a rider.
Jamaican money.
Which American dollary dues. All right. I know exactly who you're all putting that money on, and we're all doing it on Marquez.
Right.
But
Fair.
to everyone's point, it is absolutely possible. I think Mark, Jorge, Fabio, maybe, and Iagura. Like, I think at this point in the championship, they're probably the most likely. But man, I just don't know what's up with Betseki. I have no idea where he is at this point. Like, when he comes back, like, he could be nowhere and he could come out just fresh out of the gate and dominating again. But it's up in the air. I mean, he's been out for basically 4 straight weeks, 4 straight weekends, and basically, and he just 5 weekends ago we thought he had this whole championship on a lock, and it was his,
Right.
unless Mark could figure something out. So yeah, I think the guys, 6 to 8 probably have a 1% chance at winning it realistically, but there's still that chance. But the rest of the guys above them, I think any of them could win it.
Oh,
Really.
come on, man. Listen, man. Look, former champions have the better chance than no champions at all. They
Isn't that
are
just a confirmation bias?
Martin,
There's only one.
Bagnaia, Martin, Mark Marquez. Those three, they know they've been through that pressure that these other guys are starting to feel. They're starting to come around. They know what that is, and I think they get at least maybe 15 points to 20 points just because of that experience that they've already had going through it, where, Bezecchi can't make any more mistakes, right? Digia can't make any mistakes. Fernandez and Agura can't make any mistakes, but they've never been there before. So, you know what I mean? Somebody got to be smoking some of that good to keep the nerves calm. Now, what are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I mean it's tight. I mean, like you said, like Tyson said, 6 through 8, Pecco, uh, in 8th position. He's gonna have to be on the podium for like the next 3-4 rounds. Like not third place. He needs to be first or second.
Right, but he has been faster at the last rounds before the break. I mean, he's been, getting up there,
He,
so it's
he is
possible.
known to turn it up. He's known to turn it up second half of the season.
Oh,
We've seen him do it to Fabio. he's known to have better performances. Last year, I think was
No,
like Mark Marquez did something to him. So, but I think if if anything, he could probably be top three in the championship if he fights all the way in. I don't think Pecco really has a chance because, and realistically, out of the top four, they all have to make a mistake, and Pecco has to, do really well for him to make a difference.
right. So okay.
Um, so,
So you
so I
believe?
don't think he's really gonna to make it catch up. In the standings right now, he is eighth in the championship, so he could probably get to like top five or third if he's exceptional.
You
But
see?
all these other guys, like you're saying, like they have the experience, like Martin, Marquez, like all these other guys, like Angora,
Well, I
Dish
agree.
Turner. They don't have the experience, so
Yeah.
they need 100% focus, and they can't make any mistakes.
So you're trying to say Pecco can't beat these guys straight up? They have to make a mistake.
Pretty much, I mean, we've seen it.
Crickets.
The Purdy has been dominant this year. Even Mark's been it's been hard for him to catch up to them. So yeah, I don't think Pecco is gonna like yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't
All
think. I know his experience is there, but I think he's ready to jump on an Purdy in 2027.
right. All right. Tyson, did I change your mind with Bagnaya and that is still
No.
for your boys and Marquez?
I mean, I don't have much to add to what TJ just said about Pecco, but barring Jorge doing some dumbass move and taking out Mark, Betseki, and Raul for like 3 or 4 races, he has no chance. Like, okay, so Jorge crashes 1 or 2 races. Well, there's still Mark, Betseki, and Fabio. So you have to have so many cumulative crashes for him to get all of those points back. I just don't think it's possible.
This dude can
Like
beat
Mark,
these guys straight up. What are you talking about?
well, not this year. I mean, he's had what 10
That's-
opportunities so far. Hasn't won. He's won 1 sprint. I'm
yeah, but
pretty sure that's what he's won.
he's like, listen, he's like, man, I was down 93 and came back and won. So what's 65?
I just don't know.
fighting,
I
fighting
haven't seen
against
enough
one
out of him.
rider.
Yeah, fighting against 7 other
Fair
riders
enough. Fair enough.
is like I don't think he could do it. But Pedro, like I think Pedro has the talent and the skill to do it. But I think that KTM is just dog.
Right.
Like that equipment is not getting him a championship this
Right.
year. Like
I-
no matter how much he could sell his soul to the devil and he still couldn't do it.
Right. So
Like
so by the end of this weekend, Bagnaia will be in front of Acosta in points due to the KTM.
probably
So he's
it wouldn't
already
shock me.
played.
there goes one.
Yeah.
He's moving up.
I think we can safely say Pecco will at least have 7th in the championship. Without a doubt. He has 7th on lock. Anything higher than that is, whatever his achievement that he wants to do this year. But
Yeah, I think again we'll see. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the sport is that we'll get a chance to see. Let's talk about Digia, and Bez, right? And even Fernandez. Fernandez just came out. He got a 2-year deal with Trackhouse. I should have put money with against Lewis because I many times at the beginning of the season I'm like, you sure this dude can't do nothing to save his job? No. And the man saved his job. So, what I say is anything is possible, to quote the great Kevin Garnett. So Bagnaya, he might be able to pull it off. Let's talk about Digia and Fernandez though, and Bez, because they're doing. I mean, I'll put Agura in there, but Agura is cool. So I think he's in second place in the championship and moving up. So I mean, these 3 guys, they got a lot to lose if they don't get it together. No.
Yeah, man. Digi's been good. Like, he's been really solid. He can get a pole. He can be on front row. I think that his starts is not as good as a lot of the riders, and that hurts him a little bit, in my opinion. So sometimes, like, have a pole or front row, and then going into turn one, he's in fifth or seventh. It's just like what just happened.
Right.
his pace throughout the race is really good. It's just once you're in the back of the pack, trying to catch up, you have to have that mental side of you, like, all right, I gotta save some tires. You can't hope for a red flag like, some other races. But, I think that he just has to keep doing what he's been doing and just try to stay front row. So I mean, he's capable. He's been showing it. These Aprilia has kind of been in the way, so they've been doing really well. So he's fighting with really good riders and better manufacturer right now as well.
Gotcha. Tyson, man, what are your thoughts, man, on Bez? I know you touched on him a little bit, but Digi and Fernandez, they gotta do something special this weekend.
I think Fernandez, like we're talking about pressure and stuff like that. I think those Trackhouse boys have like very little pressure this year. And I think we'll see a lot more good stuff out of Fernandez. I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable with that bike. And I'm hoping to see him just picking up the pace, getting more consistently getting, top fives every weekend, in the sprint as well. And I don't know if he will quite win the championship, but I could see him finishing fourth, maybe third. But it's still possible for him to pull it off. To what TJ was saying with Digia's starts, like I think if Digia had figured out his starts, he would easily be second in the championship right now, if not third. But if he can figure it out going forward, I think he can stay with this top pack of guys and potentially, hopefully, one of these guys makes a mistake and he can, get some points on them and find his way up there at the, second, third, first in the championship. But if he can't figure out those starts, he's going to always be fighting positions back, and you're just going to naturally lose time to the guy in first who's not fighting with anybody in clean air, just doing whatever he wants. So it's just going to be really tough for him to keep that. But for Bez, I don't know what Bez has got to do. Bez has got to figure something out. Like I think he's, I don't know, emotionally crumbled or mentally, but like just all of these mistakes. I know he got hurt, and I mean, part of that is making a mistake and getting hurt and then not being able to ride. But like, man, you got to figure it out. You got a fresh start here with the summer break. I think he's already come out and said he's not 100% for this race, so I'm not going to expect too much out of him. But if you can get a top 5 and then keep that up and start getting these podiums and first places back, I think he can do it. I think he could turn it around. He's got the skill.
Yeah, finish the weekend. Stay on the bike.
Don't see a corner marshal. That's all you don't need to see. No flashback. Stay on the bike.
Well, it's unfortunate when you already have bad luck, but then you do some things to give up points as well. But that's how you learn, and that makes them stronger. The thing about the sport though, sometimes you only get one shot. So yeah, you ask Danny Pedrosa.
Poor guy.
For real, he should get an honorary one because I mean it was tough on. They were tougher with him. Speaking of tough guys, let's before we get out of here, let's talk about the 5 things that's a must-have for everyone. It might be a little bit different. I think the biggest thing about going to the track is making sure you're comfortable. If you're comfortable, you generally are gonna ride well. You're generally gonna feel good, and you're generally gonna have a good time. Is what I can say from going to the track, because when sometimes you don't have what you want or need or whatever, you're not riding the same. You're on a track, you're thinking about what not being comfortable. I mean, the riding, as they say, 90% is between your ears, and so it's easy to get out there and ride stiff. So TJ, what do you got? What are the 5 things that's a must have for you? Going to the track, and don't say a bike, because that's obviously the must.
I mean, if we want to list 5 things, one thing is you need a tire pressure gauge, or not gauge, but something to pump air. I mean, going to the track, you check your tire pressures constantly. You add air, take away air, so tire pressure gauge. Definitely, you need to have some electrical stuff like extension cords. You got to plug things up. So those are must-haves. Definitely, a little bit off topic, but a cooler, because you gotta stay hydrated. You need to have somewhere to put your stuff, nowhere to keep things cold and keep yourself refreshed. Um, let's see, a couple of things. Um, yeah, obviously, gotta have all your gear. I know we talk about gear a lot, but you can't ride without gear. So make sure all your gear is intact. Like you gotta have everything,
in
back
in,
protector, the
in
whole
the truck.
setup.
In the truck. Make sure it's in the
And
truck and not at home.
yeah, in the truck, in a bag, in a truck, so you don't forget anything because you need every piece to that. And let's see, last but not least, what you need to bring to the track. I was there to say maybe a helping hand if you can. Helping hand for sure goes a long way. Setting up tents and pulling bikes off yourself, like you want to save energy at the end of the day. So if you have a buddy with you, if y'all both going together, or if you have someone that can help you, that definitely is a lifesaver.
Yeah, I agreed. I didn't even think of that last one, but you're absolutely right. Having someone with you, just to vent, being you're,
Yeah,
at a race, they just listen.
for
uh,
real.
Tyson, man, what are the five must things you must have when going to the track?
I've definitely got a couple similar ones as TJ, but for sure, number one, make sure everything that comes before number one is in the car and it goes with you to where you're going. That's absolutely right there.
Yeah.
But to be serious, honorary mention. I know TJ brought it up. Is definitely going to be like electrical stuff and tire warmers. Like for me, that's really all you need electricity for is your tire warmers. And I think I really like to have them. I like not having to worry about my tires and just you put the blankets on, you go out there, you have fun, you come back, you put them on, and you don't even have to think about are my tires warm, am I pushing too much, whatever, why did I crash, that kind of thing. But you don't have to have them, so it's kind of like so I'm like it's an honorary mention. But for me, it's being comfortable. That's the biggest thing. Like every time I go to the track, like I don't generally like to ride in the rain. I have more fun in the dry. Like I will ride in the rain, but so I usually try to avoid those days. But you're usually out in the middle of a parking lot or a field somewhere where you're getting blasted by the sun and it's hot outside and you're in a full body condom and it you sweat. And so like staying out of the elements, having a nice place to sit, so like bringing an awning, like I know that's definitely not necessary, but like there is a big difference between having a covered area
Mm.
and not being covered.
Oh
Like
yeah.
especially if it's like 90 degrees outside, 95, 100 degrees, and you're out racing, and then you come back and like you have no reprieve at all. Like it is miserable. Been there, done that. Uh, Somewhere to sit, bring a chair. Like, if you're driving in your car, sometimes it's nice to just sit in the car or whatever, but like I find it's easier just sit under the awning in a chair, relax, take the top half of your suit off, just take a load off and not do something for like 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes after you get off the bike and just like oof. Third, definitely water, hydration, cooler if that works for you, but just something to drink, something to keep fluids in you. You're gonna sweat a lot, and you do not want to be having some sort of heat-related issues while you are operating a motor vehicle at deadly speeds.
Mhm.
So let's not do that, kids. But definitely water. Um, Oh, other things, tire pressure gauge and a tire pressure like pump, like an electric one. I always just steal my dad's. So if your dads are cool and they've got spare tools around, steal them from them. What's his is mine and what's mine is mine. So that's how it
Yeah.
works around here. I've just got one. It just takes like a what is it? Like a drill battery. You put it in there,
Mhm.
put it on the bike, pump her up. Always have like an analog or digital, like actual wired gauge to check the pressure. But but yeah, I think those are my. I don't know, was that five? There's a couple of
Might,
things, but
might have been
You got
five.
one more.
do I have one more? Oh boy, one
Mhm.
more. Oh, I'll have to go with a helping hand. There's nothing like a helping hand.
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna steal that one from you, TJ. Like, oh
that's
man,
fine.
if you guys didn't need another reason to get like married or find a girlfriend or whatever, like there's another one right there. A spouse of some kind, free
Yeah.
labor.
That's the reason right there. Free labor. No, that's pretty good. I
Right.
think I have similar. I guess I would say fan. Neither when you guys said a fan, but having a fan helps. Regardless if it's a ginormous one that you can keep the whole paddock cool, or just a wireless battery operated joint that you can have on yourself. If you got your gear on and it's hot out, and you can just stay a little bit cool. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Glass cleaner, because you're cleaning your visor a lot. So, and your windshield. So, I think glass cleaner is another thing to have. Work gloves. Very important to have work gloves. If you're going through tires and you got to make changes or anything like that, there's a big difference between having no gloves and gloves, and what I'll come home from a weekend of being at the track, and you would think I was in a hole trying to dig out with my hands. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I was
'cause you-
laughing to myself because I do the same thing. Like I always forget my gloves, and I literally
Always.
look like I was in a coal mine somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So definitely gloves. And you guys touched on and obviously on end of sorts and covering of sorts. That you're right. I mean, I've done it. I think most of us started a similar way. You show up with a friend to the track, open trailer, back of your pickup, sleep in your pickup kind of thing, and everybody just kind of as life goes on, you gradually get more and a little bit better amenities as you get to the track and stuff like that. But having some type of cover is always good. You might do 6 races in a weekend, or 12 races in a weekend, or 2 races in a weekend, but having a comfortable chair, not just a chair, a comfortable chair makes a world of difference. Because Saturday is one thing, Sunday's different after you've been racing all day Saturday, and you got
Oh yeah.
around till 4 o'clock for your race, because your race is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I think those are some cool things to have at the track. Obviously, a good attitude. And it's not something that you have to bring, but we always say this on the show. Read the rule books. It's always good to be prepared. Whatever race organization or track day organization you go to, just read the rule books so you know what you can do, what you can't do, and it makes life a lot easier, because then you won't show up and you can't ride because you didn't do something that you had to do in the rule book, and that's the worst thing. I think we got everything covered, guys.
Agree.
Everyone should be ready to go to the track. All episodes are on beforevercool.com. So just go to beforevercool.com. Check us out. My name is Rex45. I want to thank TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee. I want to thank Tyson from New Hampshire. Peace.